As the controversy over electronic transmission of election results in Nigeria continues, a prominent political analyst, Kenneth Okonkwo, he had taken on the Senate President Godswill Akpabio over his position on the issue.
It's depressing and very irritating that the Senate President, that is the first amongst equal, is just a senator, that his own colleagues chose to preside over them, will unilaterally, in cahoot with some of his gang in the National Senate, try to cunningly and surreptitiously overrule the entire Senate. Now, let us even say the whole idea of Electoral Act 2022 was to introduce technology and electronic transmission of results. That is the whole reason for it. If you recall, President Buhari, the first time they amended the act without putting the provision for the electronic transfer, he refused to assent to it until they put that provision. So the issue here is that there is an outcry that after the election of 2023 and the petition and the determination of by the Supreme Court, people are no longer sure whether it is mandatory or discretionary on INEC to electronically transmit. And the Supreme Court noted that. Of course, I disagree that it was not mandatory. It was mandatory in Electoral Act 2022. But the Supreme Court is the final court. The Supreme Court noted that because of some vagueness in some sections, especially 60 subsection 5, where they use the word transfer without using the word transmit, that it could result in some vagueness. And then there is a need for the legislature to make it mandatory. Let me tell you the beautiful, notable pronouncement by Abba Aji, Justice of the Supreme Court as he still is. He said, modernity and technology stare us in the face, and we cannot turn back the hand of time. He said to go against the use of technology and electronic transmission and transfer of election results in this high-tech era and period is to be an enemy of democracy, and to stick to the vicious cycle of election rigging, manipulation, falsification, and subterfuge. This is the pronouncement of Abba Haji, Justice of the Supreme Court. And he went further to plead with the legislature that they should amend the 2023 article versus INEC number 2, 2023, 19 Nigeria Weekly Law Report, part 1917, 761 at page 876. And in 877, the learned judge Abba Aji of the Supreme Court went further to plead with the legislature to please nip this confusion in the bud by making it clear and unambiguous through amending the process that legislature, that INEC does not have any discretion, that it is mandatory. I have to state the case. Atiku's case was the only presidential appeal that was considered by the Supreme Court. So it is the only appeal now that tells you the position of the Supreme Court as long as presidential election is concerned, using the Electoral Act 2022. Now, some judges, even in that judgment, like Akomai again, was of the opinion that 2022 Act made it clear that electronic transmission is compulsory. Said it must be done. So the issue here is that some judges differed. But the issue here is this. Why would the legislature prevaricate on an issue that the Supreme Court has told you that it encourages electoral rigging, manipulation, and makes you an enemy of democracy? What it means is that Senator Godswill Akpabio has become an enemy of democracy and is sticking to the vicious cycle of election rigging, manipulation, falsification, and subterfuge by trying to maintain the same provision that Supreme Court told you that if you do, you are an enemy of democracy. That man is an enemy of democracy and should be removed if he doesn't resign.